Hey guys, and welcome to the BowHunterPlanet Studio, and here with Matt. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me down.
It's nice to have another Michigander come on down and see us. You know, it's every once in a while, like I was telling you, we'll get some people come in, visit, see the studio in person. So it's actually nice. It's also nice to sit down and do an interview without having to do it over the phone.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
In fact, we were live last night together on TikTok.
Yeah, it's cool to finally see this place. I've always seen the videos and stuff, but this place is sweet.
Is it bigger than you thought? Or
it
smaller?
is. It is bigger. Yeah,
it's pretty big. It's
you
about
really
2,000 square feet, I think, 2,400 actually.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's got this finished up real nice.
Yeah, so it's nice. It's a nice feel because it's warm, right? You're not like outside for everything. You can get things done, and you know, as well as when I'm filming, it's a lot easier to. And we also have like our podcast room, which is actually here. I'll show you later, but I found that like. This setup is a little bit nicer now, like in the floor. Like we didn't used to use the floor for this type of stuff, but like I've been really liking just doing these out here. I guess, you know, it's starting. It's just a better feel, and to be honest, it's easier with the one camera because I can like cut to you and me from one instead of have to work about like 6 cameras. This is much easier setup. But so Matt, tell me, you know, you're making broadheads, obviously REK Broadheads, and tell me what has been the biggest concern for you so far in the industry with broadheads? Is it something where like it's just harder than you thought it'd be? Is it easier than you thought it'd be? Like, what are some of the hard parts and easy parts, I guess, so far from what you've seen?
Well, it's definitely been hard. There's no denying that. And I think that's just, you know, the competitive nature of broadheads in general. There's so many broadheads on the market.
Yeah.
And there's so many good broadheads on the market too. There's a lot of different designs. You know, just business in general is hard. You know, just you know, try to get a new brand built and off the ground. I think has been the hardest challenge is just trying to become known in the industry. That, you know, there's a couple of ways to go about that. It either takes a lot of marketing dollars, or it takes a lot of just on the road, pounding the pavement and working the shows. And obviously, social media now has made it a little easier than I can imagine what it was, you know, 20 years ago. But
that was straight relationships and money.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. You know, that's back when magazine ads were pretty much your only advertisement, or just, you know,
can't imagine
out shaking hands. But yeah, so it's been difficult just trying to get our name out there. Especially we launched during COVID, our first launch, you know, we kind of talked about it last night.
The worst time.
Yeah, day one, we set up a trade show, our booth at the Lansing Deer and Turkey Expo, and this was going to be our first public launch. And they come in an hour after setting up and said, "Nope, tear down. You guys got to go home. The governor shut the state down." And we're like, "Oh, so this is how it's going to go, right?" And so for the next 2 years, it was just kind of interesting. You know, a lot of social media, though. Social media kind of saved us through all that.
Yep.
But it's been nice to be able to get back out now and really go out and work some of these shows and show people our product and stuff. So, but yeah, broadheads are a very cutthroat product. They're very saturated. There's probably a little bit of misinformation out there. Yeah,
and they do a lot of cutting.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Well, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, it's been a really fun process, but it's been a learning process, and we're.
I think you know, we started the archery repair kit this year, and to be honest, it was definitely a lot harder than I thought it'd be to sell something. Like it's easier for us because we're trying to sell direct to the consumers, but when I started reaching out to pro shops, it was a lot harder than I thought it'd be for them to sell it. And so I learned right away, like, okay, the game of sales is not easy. That's definitely not easy, and it's not just sell it; it's push it. You know what I mean? Because at first, when you're new, no one's just going to go buy it. You have to push it somehow. And I'm not saying it's their job to do that. I'm just saying, like, if you can get them to like you enough to, like, you know, I'll tell people about REK Broadheads, and I'll not only will I tell them about it, I'll say, hey, try this. I tried it. It was great, you know.
Yep.
But where you're going to get that's pretty slim. And I learned that the hard way with the repair kits because I didn't think that through. I just thought it'd be easy. I'll be honest. I was like, oh, people are just going to buy it. It's just a no-brainer. It's like a kit. It's the same price or less than a pack of broadheads. Sure. And I'm thinking, oh, people will just grab it. But no, that if you don't have myself like promoting or pushing it, you know. So I found that online sales were a lot easier. I could easily sell them online compared to trying to get a shop take it. Plus, you're losing the commission. You know, there's a lot more money you're losing there, of course, per unit. So that makes it hard too, because then you have to really think through the business of it, right? I mean, that's the
and you know, you've got to have a competitive dealer program too. We've really learned that. You know, it's one thing to have a good quality product, but at the end of the day, these shops, they have to they have to pay the electricity bill and
Yeah,
keep the lights on,
absolutely.
so they're gonna more times than not lean towards the product that has a higher margin,
Yeah.
because they can make more money on it, they can move more units. But then also, kind of what our one of our new reps just told me the other day, he said, we can get you the placement, we can get you in the stores, but it's your job as a manufacturer to make sure you're doing the marketing to get these things off the shelves.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So it's
What would you say for the ones that haven't taken it, that you have approached or tried to get it into a store? What would you say their biggest concerns are?
I think the biggest concern when I talk to dealers, we're just new, and some of these dealers have not heard of us yet. So they're looking at, hey, how are you going to make people come in the store and ask for these products? So that's where we've really just worked on this year, upping our marketing game and becoming more known throughout the industry. Just to
Is there an advantage to, and I don't know this, so nobody take this the wrong way. I'm just asking the question. I don't know the answer. Is there an advantage to using that network, or is it better just to sell direct and call it a day?
man, sometimes it makes you wonder.
I just wonder, because you have the marketing capabilities online. People buy things online all the time. It's almost become hot. Your product, my product are kind of commodities that you can ship. They're easy to it's not something you have to see in the store. You know what I'm saying? Like to buy it, you can go online, watch videos on impact shots. There's a lot of marketing that can happen online for something like this. And that's why I was just wondering, is there a huge advantage to doing it in the shops? Because now you're in the shops, you also go against all the big guys, the Rage, G5,
Certainly.
right? You're almost at a little bit of a disadvantage. And, but again, when you sell these, are most companies buying 12 at a time, 6-packs at a time, or a lot more?
I guess it really depends on the dealer and just what they move for actual volume. We've had new dealers order, several hundred sets.
Wow.
And then
Holy cow.
and these are stores that have,
little
feeder
bigger
locations and
Wow.
stuff like that.
That's pretty
but
cool.
then, on average, I would say, people bring in a dozen of each model and just kind of see how they do. And then, if they sell, they'll reorder. And that's one good thing is we're able to, we have a pretty good inventory where, if they sell out by, August, we're shipping more out to them. And
the good thing is they're buying it in one buy, right? So I guess we're online, you got to sell to 700 consumers. They're buying in one buy.
Yeah,
so.
the big numbers certainly help when you're looking, especially to get those orders early in the year. You can plan out your whole year, your budget, and stuff like that. I see why a lot of companies do go factory direct.
Yeah.
It's just you kind of take that middleman out of the picture. I think we're probably going to remain dealer based. We did start factory direct, during COVID and stuff, because we didn't have an option to go out and pound the pavement really and get into the shops. But I definitely see you can give a little bit better deal back to the consumer when you're doing factory direct. There's a lot less headaches involved probably, and you're more in control of everything. I would say, but I just we're big on supporting the pro shops and the dealers. That's kind of the root of archery.
Yeah.
And I think to support the dealer and stuff is big for us to continue to offer this at retail.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, as long as they're buying it, right, and it's moving and people are happy with it. And 700 is a lot. So, if they're buying 700 at a time, that's a really good win for you guys, because not only is it, move a lot of product, but you're also getting a lot of product in front of people all over the place, right? Yep. So, I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those. And broadheads are interesting because, like I said yesterday on the show we were on, if you make one mistake or someone makes a mistake, they blame you. It's there's no way around it. You're getting blamed. And it's it kind of sucks because really it could be the user. And I'll give an example of this. So it must have been 3 years ago now. I was shooting at this buck. I had a Rage on the top of him. And to go backwards a little bit, I've used Rage in many situations, and I've got a lot of very good kills with them. No problem. But this one situation, I had this deer at 5 yards under me, right? So I did this draw, and I'm like this, and I'm trying to lean over, and I shoot it, and it hits it right on that, the bones coming down on the rib, right? And it doesn't go in much. It goes in this far. And I'm like, really? And I was kind of mad about it, and I know it was my fault because it wasn't really a good shot. It was a bad shot to begin with. But I kind of thought in my mind, okay, well, but if that was a fixed blade broadhead, I probably would have ballooned right through that instead of had that issue where it stopped that short. So I kind of got upset and I switched to a fixed, and I smoked 3 deer right after that. But but again, the situation gave me a little quick bad taste in my mouth, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I gotta switch my head, So it does put a little pressure on you because unfortunately it's nothing you can do. It's out of your hands, but you can only hope. Control. You can only hope that you don't have the situation. But show me some of the heads and let's see what you got for the fixed 2 real quick.
Yeah, so our fixed models are here. The FX4, that was the third head we actually designed and launched there. This was the first fixed head we launched. That's the FXD. That's a 2-blade. That's on a modular ferrule. You can turn that into the expandable. The blades are interchangeable, and you can turn it into actually both of our expandables. same ferrule. But you'll kind of see throughout our tips or throughout our heads, the tip is all pretty much the same. This one's a little shorter, but they're all 416 stainless steel. They got 4-side chisel tip on there, and they're really just designed to punch through bone, even with the expandables. That's because your experience you just mentioned there. We in the past have had some issues with getting expandables to go through shoulders, and so we wanted to put a head on an expandable that would punch through bone, and allow these blades to cut through and get past that shoulder if needed, or past ribs and stuff like that. And these expandables have done a really good job of it. Really, the goal with all these heads here was to beef them up, make them hold up to hard impacts, bones. The blades are a little thicker than some of the competitors. They're 39 thousandths thick. It's a 70-75 aluminum ferrule across the board, and like I mentioned, the tips are all the same. So these are the 4 models we have now. This was the new one we launched at ATA recently. That's the HXP.
So does this have different blades on it? It looks like the blades looks different than this one.
They are, yep. That's an inch 850 cut on that, and that's 2 1/4 inch cut here.
Got it, okay.
So, yep, and about 2/3 of the way down, you'll see it kind of sweeps back a little bit there. That angle changes. That's just for better penetration. And we tested this through the fall, and man, the blood trails we're seeing on this thing are insane. Because being a rear deploy like this, you get kind of that slap cut on entry. So when that releases, it's actually cutting about like that on impact, and before it falls into its resting place there. But we're seeing like 3-inch entry wounds.
How does the clips work up there?
So that's our spring retention collar. I have a little tool that helps putting this in. Sometimes you're able to do it by finger too, but this tip holds it in place. You just kind of loosen the tip up, push these blades up, and actually this one's broken off because we've been using it. But there's there's supposed to be a longer tab on one of these that allows you to put the longer tab in first, and then you're able to put the small one in. But it just kind of rotates in here, and the tip holds it in place. And what it actually does, it gives you a spring action on your blade. So when you're bouncing those around, they don't want to just pop open on you.
Oh, so when it impacts, it's going to slide off that clip.
It actually breaks them right off.
Breaks it off, got it.
3.8 pounds of force breaks that right free. And
yeah, that's cool.
Gives you the deployed
that tip
state.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's it does the job like you think it would. I mean, it's designed to clear bone out of the way.
So out of all these, is there any that you can or cannot shoot out a crossbow?
No, they're all crossbow rated. We rate them to 450 feet per second.
Wow.
I know some of those crossbows are getting up in that 500 range and stuff. So we're looking at some other options there.
Yeah, you mean that one over there?
Oh, you've got one. Yeah,
515.
Yeah, they're wicked fast.
The 515, I found out the 515 is, we're talking about the TRX 515 from 10 Point. It is 515 feet per second with a 400 grain arrow. Yep. They actually ship with a 450. So it's actually still hitting 500 with that arrow. So it's still powerful. I'm just saying. Because we did the test, we're like 500, something don't seem right. And then we're like, oh, wait a minute. So of course you got to read all the details. Where's this say? And I try to call them, no one answered. I'm like, oh yeah, right there, 400, because they always do that. They like to. But, it can hit it. I don't think people would want to use that light of an arrow, but maybe. Never know. I guess.
Yeah, it's wicked fast. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
It's crazy how far they've come.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, we're looking into some more crossbow options. These are crossbow rated, but they're the standard diameter of a hunting arrow. So we're looking into a crossbow bolt match grade, so you don't have that little lip there, I suppose. And we're also looking into some titanium versions. Obviously, that comes with an increased cost and stuff, but just if these crossbows continue to climb and exceed 500 feet per second, that's where, we've had really good strength out of these. They are aluminum heads, but I think once you start getting up to that speed is when you want to start thinking about a steel or titanium.
This one's awesome. I think that is just amazing.
Yeah, we sell a ton of that head right there.
This head to me is like got it all. That's like, wow, that's just a lot going on there.
Yeah.
What's this one called again?
That's the FX4, and that's got
FX4.
an inch and an eighth main blade and a 3/4 inch bleeder on that. And we designed that thing to fly true.
Are these blades one blade?
Nope. Those actually, that tip
separate?
Comes off, and those slide out, and they just mate together.
Okay.
That's all they do. And
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a real simple system there. Fully replaceable, though. That's kind of our category, I guess, is, we get asked if we'll ever design a solid one piece, a head you can sharpen. And I don't know if we'll go down that road or not. We're kind of sticking in the replaceable blade lane. You know?
So what are you thinking as far as like, so basically what you're saying is the focus might move a little bit to crossbow at some point, or just crossbow?
Probably not just strictly crossbow, but I think we will at some point offer an actual crossbow specific head. You know, that is a match grade. Outer diameter on that.
I noticed that you had a BHP specific one, so you are able to like laser cut or something, different names in these, right?
Yeah, that's something we offered new at ATA this year.
Kind of
cool. We did dealer customization. It was a special at ATA to where if a shop comes in and they want to have their name on our broadheads. It was a deal we had running, and they were able to, and actually it was a pretty big hit too. We had a lot of dealers take us up on that, and they're having their store name put on the heads. So
kind of a weird question, but can you do, you probably don't offer this right now, but just the question of can you do it? Could this blade be a different color, the ferrule?
The ferrules can.
So you could make that orange, the ferrule?
Yeah, we can anodize any color. We've kind of contemplated going back and forth
That's a
on
good idea.
blues.